All right, hi guys. This is just going to be some real quick notes for Jakara's Fit 2019-05-01 for the gym. Most of everything that you have should be pretty self-explanatory, but if you want to listen to the lovely rambling sound of my voice, you can listen to this on your way to the gym and then look at it and go, oh, that's what she was talking about. So, a lot of work again today. You're starting with deadlift sets and reps. After each set, you have a set of max strict handstand push-ups. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. Make sure your shoulders are warm as you're going through the warm-up. For the deadlifts, you have a lot of sets, sort of a lot of reps. So each set should be a working set. So they shouldn't be necessarily easy, shouldn't be Metcon weight, but you also don't want to be so fatigued that you black out when you flip over into your handstand. For the handstand push-ups, they are strict and max reps. So if you did the open and you did either the scale or the RX version, how did that go for you? I want you to use that kind of as your guideline for what you're doing for this today. Obviously, a RX strict handstand push-up would be with your head level with your hands in your tripod position. So whatever you have that looks like for you, whether you've got like a nice gymnastics mat that you can use, so that everything's nice and flat, but you're not hitting your head on anything hard. If you need to use an ab mat, you have 25-pound plates, if they're the black plates next to it, or it's the 55-pound red Olympic lifting plates. That would be considered RX when they're flush like that. If you have that trouble at the bottom sticky position to go back up, you can scale it to either your hands flat on the ground with one ab mat. I think Make Wad's Great Again did a great meme about this where he said he did strict handstand push-ups with one less mat than usual, so he now understands why women say, oh, that 1 inch makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. So if you're struggling with it being flush, add that one black ab mat, see if that's better for you. 2 ab mats is your limit for this. Anything more than that, and I personally do not feel that gives you a good strengthening movement in that inverted press position. So if you're still having difficulty with 2 ab mats and then coming up out of the bottom of that, I want you to scale it down from there with a pike push-up. So you're going to get your feet on a box, but then maintain that same butt in the air straight up and down. So if you're doing a pike push-up for this, you're going to get that butt up in the air as high as you can, arms straight just like you would for a handstand push-up. Lower that head to the ground and then push up without doing this and making it a decline push-up. Okay? And then if from there you're still unable to perform strict handstand push-ups that way, I want you to go ahead and grab a barbell, and from the rig, what you're going to do is front rack position. You can push press up. This is your starting position. And then you strict press, stop that bar at eye level, strict press it back up. Should be a challenging weight. Again, not so heavy that you're failing or having to do this number to get it up, but we're strengthening that strict press pushing position. So keep track of your reps for that. Your score is your deadlift, but again, we'll end up seeing this again in the future, so keep track of everything so that we can track your progress. And then you've got a Metcon up next. Farmer in the Dell, the farmer in the Dell. That's the song that came to mind when I was doing this. So you're running. Please note the weight on your kettlebells. They are heavy if you have that equipment and it's available to you. If you have fat bells, that is another option as the next best. if you don't have that heavy kettlebell, your final option would be dumbbells. But really a kettlebell or a fat bell is preferred just because of the distribution of the weights. Dumbbells, if at all possible. And then if you need to knock that weight down, go ahead and do that. So you've got double kettlebell deadlifts. If you've never done these, you're gonna have a narrower stance than usual. Please watch your back on these. So because of where you're setting up on your kettlebell deadlift, I want you to think more kind of a squat, almost like a trap bar deadlift when you go to stand up. Please keep from doing this number. We like our backs. We want to keep our backs. You have more workouts to do this week. So kind of think squat into it as you do those deadlifts. Then you've got farmer's carries with them. So remember, farmer carry, you're just keeping it down here, walking your distance, however you have to get that done. And then you have a 100-meter sled push at 1.5 times your body weight. So if you're doing this RX, you've got the kettlebells, you've got them at the RX weight, and then RX is 1.5 times your body weight. Okay, the distance, pushing that sled. Total time, this is a big old chipper, so just make sure you leave enough time for that, or scale down the time or the rounds if you need to cut some time off. Then you're following it up with an accessory strength. It's called pulling run. I do realize you have some pushing movements in there. That's just to complement what you're doing. Sumo deadlifts, get as heavy with those as you can. Wide stance, right? Hands inside your legs. Stand. So it says 8 and 8 seated dumbbell press. So you will be sitting on a bench and you're doing one arm at a time. Okay, your other arm can be holding in a front rack position, or you can just use the one and go. And whatever's most comfortable for your shoulders to press for that, do that. That's absolutely fine. Banded good mornings. Get that band around your neck without cutting off circulation. Hips back, keeping those shoulders over your midfoot, and squeeze your glutes to come up. And then your score for this is your 50-foot and 50-foot single arm overhead carry. This RX doesn't matter, kettlebells, dumbbells. I don't recommend a barbell, but I mean, I guess if you want to use a PVC to practice, that's fine. 50-foot, one arm up overhead, nothing in your free hand. You're just focused on keeping that core nice and tight. Lock your shoulder blade back and down to distribute the weight of whatever object you have. If you need to take a break halfway through, that's fine. Don't move. Pick it back up and finish. Switch sides, come back. Then your finishing piece today, depending again on what you're prioritizing, you've got some running work, sprints. It is for total amount of time, so that's including your rest time in between your rounds for your distance. Each distance should be a sprint. Rest the full amount of time that it calls for so that you can sprint it again. The time on the clock at the end of your 6th sprint is your time. If you keep track of your splits, you can leave those in the notes so that we can see you get faster. All right, gym. So have fun. Happy hump day. Like, follow, share, subscribe, at me. Spread the word. Keep up the good work.